So today I want to talk about 7 different profitable business ideas because for me, a business was a life changer. It gave me freedom, it gave me time, and also it gave me the resources to do a lot of things I never thought I would be able to do. So if you like these type of videos, be sure to subscribe, but let's get to it. So the first profitable business idea for 2020 is going to be blogging. And the reason why I say that is because I'm a blogger. I have a blog and I've been doing it for about 10 years now. And so for me, it was one of those things where, I had $52,000 in debt, paid it off in 18 months. I was really excited about it. And I was like, hey, how do I help other people do the same thing? So I discovered blogging and I realized that I could create this website and I could put content on it, like how I saved money and how I made money by delivering pizzas at night and how I was able to use the debt snowball to pay off debt fast. And so I put all of this content onto a website and then started getting traffic to it, right? From Google and from Pinterest and from Facebook. In fact, I don't think Pinterest was around back then, but from Facebook. And so being able to say, hey, I'm actually impacting people with the knowledge that I have and helping them. So it's a great business model, and how I monetize it is through affiliate ads and through an ad network primarily. So what affiliates are is, so let's just say that we have an article on how to make money driving your car, and we talk about Uber and Lyft and Instacart and all those types of things. We have relationships with those companies, and if people sign up to be drivers, we get paid, right? So it's a win-win-win business model, right? So Uber gets drivers, I get paid, and the person that's reading the content, now they have a way to pay off their debt or to get themselves in a better financial position. So that's why I really love blogging as a way to make money and to start a profitable business. The cool thing about blogging too is that it's very low cost, right? Like you can start blogging for free, and then when you want to have it hosted and stuff like that, you can pay as low as $3 a month to have a website hosted. So it's super accessible for anybody to do. So just kind of think, what are some ideas that you have? Are you good when it comes to cooking? So recipes. Are you good when it comes to parenting? Whatever it could be, you could create a blog around that and monetize it. So that's the first way. The second way, which is what we're doing right now, is YouTube. I was really kind of skeptical about YouTube, and there's a lot of get rich quick people and people that have Lamborghinis in the background and a big mansion and stuff like that. That's just not me. So I was like, I don't really think that I want to do that. But I actually watched a guy, and I got to know him a little bit. His name is Nate O'Brien, and he has over 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's 21 years old, and last year in 2019, he made over 200 grand on YouTube. And it just blew my mind, because I was like, hey, this guy is just being normal. He's just talking, giving value and helping people, and he's doing it in a way that really is approachable. It's not flashy. It's just very we're having a conversation. And so I just thought, you know what? I really love videos myself. I'll sit home, watch videos at night on YouTube on my TV. And so I was like, oh, you know what? I think YouTube would be a great way to do it. So there's actually lots of people that I know that are actually making a full-time living on YouTube. And I was like, okay, let's give that a shot. So that's something if you want to do as well. Let's say that you're a DIY type person and you like to build things, right? YouTube could be a great way to do it. Let's say that you like to paint, right? You could teach people to paint. You play guitar, you could teach people how to play guitar. There's so many things with YouTube that you could do. Once again, if you have a camera, which if you have a cell phone these days, you have a camera, you can pretty much start doing YouTube videos, right? And so that's the second profitable idea that I have for you in 2020 that you can start a business with very little capital. The third way is by creating an e-commerce website. So this is a little bit more intensive. I started something like this back in 2008, 2009. So I would buy stuff in person and sell it on eBay. And I sold 40 grand that year of product. Here's what sucked about it is I made $0. And so it really kind of burned me. It was man, okay, I put in all this work. I drove to the post office so many times and I made no money, right? And that's what they say with business is it takes time, right? It took time for me to start making money with my blog, and it took time to make money other ways, right? It doesn't happen overnight. But I do have friends that make money with the e-commerce business that I've learned from, and now, in hindsight, I could have did things a lot differently. But my buddy Steve Chu, he has a website called, I think it's My Wife Quit Her Job, and he does over $1 million a year in sales selling handkerchiefs. So that just blew my mind. I'm like, how do you sell that many handkerchiefs, right? But you think about it, like, I don't know, if they're $10 a piece and you sell 100,000, you've sold 1 million, right? Like, so it's just a matter of, hey, do you have an idea of something that you could sell online through an e-commerce platform? A lot of people do fulfilled by Amazon. So you buy a bunch of stuff, you ship it to Amazon, and they actually fulfill the orders, right? So there's so many ways that you can do e-commerce and make a living with it. The fourth way, this is something I've done personally, is build websites. So let's just say that you've got time on the nights and weekends to be able to put some of your talents, your skills to work. What I did is I would watch YouTube videos on like how to install this theme and how to build websites and how to do basic coding things. I am by no means a technical person, right? You could ask my tech guy, like I usually lean on him, but the reality is I'm perfectly capable, and I think most people are capable of building a website. Just how good is it going to look and function, and how fast is it, that kind of thing. But you got to understand, there's so many business owners that have no clue on how to design a website, and they've got $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 that they could easily pay to say, hey, I need a website, can you do that for me? And so now with YouTube and with tutorials online, you can self-teach yourself how to build websites. And so let's just say make an extra $1,000 a month, doing one website a month, on the side. So that's a profitable business idea that I've personally done, and I think that, you could benefit from as well. Another one that I personally haven't done, but I've seen people do, is Etsy. So creating things that are unique enough and that people would want to pay for, that are special to you and unique to you. So I have this little Raspberry Pi, which is a computer, and it's like super tiny. It's like that big. And I went on to Etsy and I was like, Raspberry Pi case. And I was just blown away with how many custom cases there are for this little tiny computer, right? I have another buddy that designs debt thermometers. So it's just like a picture of a debt thermometer to kind of track your debt, and he sells those online. So there's just all sorts of things that you could do, whether it's you like to create baskets, you like to create certain types of towels, like whatever it is, like you could do it on Etsy, right? So you can take your talents and abilities and be able to sell a product to somebody on that platform. The sixth idea, which is very similar to the building websites, but a little bit unique, is graphic design. So I'm not graphically inclined, but I know people that are, right? Where they could have an eye for what looks good and what could be like a good logo or good color scheme for a website or artwork for a book or whatever it might be. And there's actually lots of ways that you can take that graphic design skill and start making money from it right away. And so the first one is called Upwork. So on Upwork, I've hired several people. These are freelancers, subcontractors all over the world. I just hired a guy in Argentina to do some weird thing with Google Data Studio, but not to get sidetracked. The reality is you can hire somebody for anything. So I was thinking about doing a children's book, and I literally went in there and I put like children's book illustrator, and I found tons of people that have been hired to do artwork for children's books, right? So the reality is, it's like if you're good at graphic design, you just create a profile on there and you say, hey, here's what I've done. You put samples of your work, and then people can hire you and then give you a shot. Another one, which is kind of a lower hanging fruit if you're just getting started, is called Fiverr. So let's just say someone needs like a podcast logo design, or someone needs like a picture for an article that they're writing. They'll pay you $5 for certain things. So you could say, hey, for 3 different icons, they'll pay you $5 a piece. You create those icons, they pay you $15 total, right? So it's just a way to kind of get into the graphic design game, kind of get yourself out there, create a portfolio. So if you are graphically inclined, I definitely recommend that you check that out. The last but not least, and this is something I've tried, is selling courses. Now, I will say I've kind of pulled back on that a little bit, because when I think of courses, online courses, I kind of think of like scammy, salesy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about courses that really add value. And so I've created 2 courses. One was called Save $250 a month. And then the other one was called Debt Free in 18 Months. And so the idea of these courses for me was, hey, how can I put my knowledge into a video format and package it in a way that people would buy it? And people have bought it, and it's been a great experience. But I think when I look at some of the courses that I've paid for myself, the highest I've ever paid, I think, is $3,000 for a course. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. And I thought so too. But I actually split it with a couple people to make it so that my end was actually $1,000. But long story short was, I thought that if I paid for that course, it would propel me that much further than if I didn't take that course, right? So let's just say I spent $1,000 on this course, but I'm like, from the knowledge that I learned, I made an extra $10,000, right? So then I'm net $9,000. Like, this is a great deal. So for me, courses, you just got to weigh them out that way. You're like, is the value of this course going to be good enough to pay for itself and then some, right? And that's kind of how I value courses. So one that I've taken, I'd say recently, was more like an SEO course, right? And so it was like, hey, how could I learn more about this thing for my blog, which is called SEO, search engine optimization. And people are Googling things every day, right? Like, you might have Googled something to get to this YouTube video, like best profitable business ideas. And so how can I get better at that so I can reach more people? And if I do that, I'm gonna help more people and make more money in the process, right? So it was worth it to me to pay that money for that course. So maybe you have some skills that you've learned, right? And we talked about some of them. It could be that you're handy and you can build stuff. It could be that you are good at graphic design. It could be that you're good at building websites. You could have a course on how to build websites for entrepreneurs, or you could have a course on how to create a profitable Etsy business, right? You can almost have a course on any of these ones that we talked about, how to make money on YouTube, right? And so that's the beauty of it, is like, okay, now you've got all of this knowledge. There are other people out there that could benefit from it, right? And so, wow, how cool would that be that you could create a course that would help them get to where they want to be in life, right? And so that's a really cool thing, something that I'm looking to do more of in the future. I hope you try it out as well. If you find this video valuable, please like the video and comment below. So if you tried one of these business ideas, please let me know. And if you have a business idea that you are running with and it's profitable, I want to hear about that as well. Would love to understand more about that. So thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one.